NBA Finals games. The former MVP has tallied over 26 points per game and over 6 assists. Only LeBron has more 30-point games in the finals among active players. The chef has 10 of them. JJ, will this be Curry's toughest challenge in the finals?
Absolutely not. The toughest challenge that he's faced in the finals was in 2016. This is after 2015 when they beat the Cavs and Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love were injured. This is before Kevin Durant signs, and they've got a fourth superstar in 17, 18, and 19. 16 in particular, that was the series, if you remember, Stephen A., when the Cavs sort of set the blueprint of how to try and stop Steph Curry. And that is being physical. That is body contact all the time off the ball. That is being up in pick and rolls. There was a couple years there, I played against it, where it was hard to figure out how to guard the Warriors. Now, they've been able to win a bunch of games and obviously get to the finals this year playing their way. They have figured out how to do that. But it's the reason that Steph Curry hit the weight room. It's the reason that he became elite in conditioning. That 16 series set the blueprint for the rest of his career. And you're talking about prime LeBron James, prime Kyrie Irving, probably a prime Kevin Love, and a bunch of big wing defenders like J.R. Smith and Iman Shumpert. Like, to me, that was the toughest test so far, rather than this Boston Celtics. And that's not to discredit this Boston Celtics defense, who I believe is perfectly built to defend in the modern NBA.
I respectfully disagree with you, JJ. I think this is the toughest. I think this is the toughest. I do agree with you that that was the blueprint. I do agree with you on that. But that Cleveland Cavaliers team, as lethal as they were and ended up being, were not these Boston Celtics defensively. Not throughout the year. They were a top 10 defensive team. I think they finished like 8th or 7th overall, if I remember correctly. And I know that, listen, Iman Shumpert, we all knew what he could do defensively. J.R. Smith wasn't something to sneeze at, obviously. You had Tristan Thompson and other guys, Kyrie Irving. You get all that, Kevin Love. You saw all of that. But at the end of the day, when you look at Boston, you saw there were elements within the Cleveland Cavaliers defense, let's say a Kyrie Irving, for example, or a Kevin Love to a lesser degree, that you could exploit at least a little bit. In the case of the Boston Celtics, who can you exploit defensively? Your reigning defensive player of the year is Marcus Smart. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown have size, athletic ability, agility, etc., etc. And we know what Al Horford and Robert Williams III bring to the equation. So when I look at least at the starting five, and then I think about Grant Williams and Derek White coming off the bench and what they bring to the table, I would make the argument, JJ, I get where you're coming from. I totally agree with you that the blueprint was set in 2015, 2016. But if I had to give a defensive rating between that team and this Boston Celtics team, I would go with this Boston Celtics team, understanding that you're right about that blueprint.
I'm gonna let Jay Will answer the question, but I'm also gonna tell you why you're wrong. But go ahead, Jay Will.
Stephen A., I have to agree with you on this one, though. And I get what JJ's saying about the physicality. For me, it's about those exploitations when it comes to the end of a shot clock and being able to target certain players and say, if you're not willing to be disciplined the entire length of a shot clock at the end of a possession, we can find a way to get the right mismatch. And for the Boston Celtics, their ability to switch everything at the end of a shot clock and utilize that length, and metrically, historically, it's one of the best defensive teams that this Golden State team has ever faced in any of their games, let alone the NBA Finals. So I have to agree with you on that one, Stephen A. Now I'm ready to hear why JJ tells us we're wrong.
Yeah, get at him, JJ.
I get the argument for the defense. Again, I've praised the Boston Celtics defense now for 3 or 4 months. The thing that your guys are missing is the LeBron James component. And all the reasons that we talk about the Celtics struggling on offense, they don't have a guy like LeBron that can orchestrate down the stretch, that can manipulate and control possessions offensively. Jason Tatum, as good as he is, he's one of the top 8 players in the NBA, first team All-NBA. He is not that guy. Jaylen Brown is not that guy. And I love Marcus Smart. I'm probably Marcus Smart's biggest fan, to be honest with you. He's not that guy. So, yes, we can talk about the defense. It's the other side of the basketball as well, with LeBron James able to control, make smart decisions, hit the right guy over and over and over again. Stephen A., I've said this to you. I said this to you the second time I ever came on the show.
Okay.
I've played against LeBron. I know how hard it is to stop a LeBron James-led offense. It's nearly impossible.
But this is not who their best opponent is, Stephen A. Go ahead.
Okay. No, I want to respond to JJ. First of all, JJ, understand something. How many times will I tell you, you got to know what you're doing when you on First Take? Let me tell you how slick you are. Now listen to this, Jay Williams, because we gonna get it right here, Jay. Jay, we gonna get it right here. This is what JJ did. I understand what the question was. So based on what the question was, you're right, JJ. You're right, JJ. Here's what you did. When you first answered the question, you brought up Cleveland's defense. So we were disagreeing with you about comparing the defense from Cleveland to Boston. That's what you did. Then when we answered the question, you came back and said, wait a minute, the LeBron James component.
Did I not say in 2015, Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love did not play in that series? In 16, they had all those guys in their prime. Come on. I said that. I did not. Don't accuse me of changing the question. Don't accuse me, Stephen.
You know JJ doesn't like when people change the question.
JJ tried to change the question. That's what he tried to do.
You know that.
But I will say, though, in JJ's defense, controlling the tempo of the game does affect how you can play on the defensive end. I mean, there is something about control. Just to add to his point, I mean, it is interesting about LeBron James and the ability to control the pace of a game, time and situation to capitalize on that. That is an additive piece that I didn't think about before that does relate to the defensive side of the ball as well.
Now,
so they do go hand in hand.
Listen to me. He's right. And Jay Williams, you're right with what you just said. All I'm trying to say is that I was addressing what J.J. Redick initially said about one defense compared to the other. That's all I'm trying to say. Mr. Top Gun, because that's what we're going to call him today. Mr. Top Gun. I mean, he tried to switch it.
You're going to change the question on this show.
Hold on a second, Stephen A. You're accusing me of something that I didn't do. Stephen A., this is a debate show. This is a debate show. We are allowed, after everybody has their turn, to build upon our argument, which is what I did. You should know that. It's your show.
Now he's telling you the rules to your show.
I conceded that he built upon his argument by bringing up the LeBron James component on the offensive end, that he was absolutely right. I was just addressing his initial comment about Cleveland's defense being tougher than this Boston Celtics defense.
I understand. You see us out here getting a tan. We're glowing in the sun.
I am jealous.
We're all together
on
this beautiful. The fans are lining up. It's finally good to see some people out here, and we're living our best life. And you feel left out, but I'm here for you.
I can't front. I am jealous because, damn it, it's cold out here right now. It's cold. I had to put on my jacket, and then to see y'all out in the sunshine like that in New York City, it really does have me a bit ticked off. I can't front.
Listen, I wish I were sleeveless. I'm getting warm out here. I'm actually put some SPF on. All right, let's pick this game, guys. So I've said this stat a multitude of times. These Celtics, hold on, let me transition here, guys. The Celtics are the only team in the NBA with a better record against the Warriors in the Steve Kerr area, but the Warriors are favored. So let's go around and pick this series, and I'll start with you. Who do you have winning the chip?
First off, I can't wait to watch it. I actually have the Golden State Warriors winning.
Okay.
I think I have them winning in 6. I do think when it's all said and done, their experience will be the deciding factor. I think Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, they will be back in the NBA Finals, just like the Golden State Warriors will be. But I think there is something about going through the process for the first time for this Boston Celtics team.
What's wrong with your face?
He just
go ahead.
I personally am very confused by this procession of answers from Jay Will. In the very first segment, the question was, what will be the deciding factor in this series? And Jay Will talked about Marcus Smart, who's on the Celtics, and then he picks the Warriors and verbatim says the deciding factor will be the Warriors' experience. I don't know about the flip-flopping here.
Stephen A.
Stephen A., what is going on?
I'm a point guard. JJ is more of a shooter, so I don't expect him to know all the nuances. When I first said it, I did not say verbatim he'll be the deciding factor. I said the matchup that I'm looking forward to more than anything will be Marcus Smart. So there's a little little crisscross for you, Stephen A.
Well,
We got another
that's a valid point.
here.
That's a valid point.
We can
but
run
that
the
don't
tape
mean
here,
that I'm
Stephen
not.
A.
That don't mean that I'm not siding with my man JJ because I am partial to shooters more so than point guards. I must confess, I am partial to shooters. Now, Mr. Top Gun, we gonna support Mr. Top Gun today. I mean, he got the #1 movie out right now. We gonna support Mr. Top Gun. Okay, that's what we gonna do. All right, we gonna do that.
That's
Okay,
good. I can't.
but in the end, I would tell you this: when I look at the Golden State Warriors, I view this as a pick'em series. I truly do. I mean, if I hadn't been picking the Warriors